At Cousin Subs, the bigger your smile, the better we feel. That's why our menu features something for everyone, like our Wisconsin cheese curds, golden fries, creamy shakes, and mac and cheese, all paired with your favorite sub, or our subs in a bowl. And don't forget our kids' meals, now with a free cookie. Here's to a better day. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta and Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And that'd be me coming to you live from Dells Raceway Park once again, where they let me use the Wi-Fi because I don't have it at my place. Nice of you to join us. Dan Margetta of St. Francis, USA. Morning, Dan.
Hey, good morning. Another day for a road course.
Yeah, we got us a road course. Watkins Glen. Brian Schmidt of Oostburg, Wisconsin.
Yes, Watkins Glen is the super speedway of road courses. One of my favorites. I mean, Road America is number one, obviously, but I'd put Watkins Glen number 2 in the country as far as best road courses.
That's pretty cool. And you'll hear her voice in the background on occasion. P.J. Noodleman of Trempealeau, Wisconsin. Morning, P.J.
Hello. Good morning.
Glad you could join us this morning. Did you say that your lovely husband, Toby, got home late?
He did. 6 o'clock this morning from Cedar Rapids. He was down there for the Midwest Tour race.
Yeah, Cedar Rapids. Good place to come home from, I think.
Yeah.
And in case anybody would like to join us and on any of our conversations we're having this morning, you can do so at our number 414-421-7901. We'll talk about anything you'd like to talk about. As we mentioned, Watkins Glen, just under 2.5-mile road course. It's fast. It's sponsored by bowling. Go Bowling. That's an interesting sponsor. Denny Hamlin, who used to be everybody's favorite driver, but I don't think he is anymore since Ty Gibbs has taken over the title. 125.172 miles per hour. It's his 3rd road course pole this year. Did you realize that? That's pretty impressive, actually. And we'll start. The race itself is at 2:20. The green flag is at 2:20. It will be televised on USA. And, of course, coverage right here on the Big 920 starts at 1 o'clock. Also can be heard at the iHeartRadio app. So make sure you tune in for that. Hey, speaking of road courses, didn't it warm your heart last week to have Michael McDowell win at Indianapolis? And it wasn't some, I'll stay out when everybody else runs out of gas kind of thing. He kicked their asses last week. It was really impressive, wasn't it?
I thought it was really cool. I mean, it's just neat to see that for that team as well. They've been running so good. That Front Row Motorsports team has done so much with so much less than a lot of the teams. They've been right around there, but never had the opportunity to put it all together like they did last week. So it's just all around cool. Not only Michael McDowell's a really great driver, a nice guy. Everybody likes him that way, but that team as well. I mean, just to see them actually get to experience what they've all worked for this year was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was well overdue. And the funniest part I thought when it was all over is it officially puts Stuart Haas 3rd in the pecking order for Fords now, because you have 2 wins for RFK Racing, and now you have Front Row with a win. And Stuart Haas still sitting there without any. Ford's got to be wondering what's going on over there.
Well, Ford's not just the only one that's wondering that. There's more than likely a lot of people wondering that, including us. I mean, okay, you have a guy in his last season who you really would like to see win a race on his way out the door, wouldn't you think? And another driver who, for all we know, isn't going to be there much longer than that 10 car. We think so. Plus, an up-and-comer driver in the 14 car. I mean, the whole thing is just weird to me. And it's, what a fantastic story, the 41. Everybody wants to see him do well, and he's not doing as well as he did last year. So, yeah, there's quite a shroud of mystery around Stuart Haas Racing these days. Can you imagine they've dropped to third behind front row in the Ford pecking order? This doesn't make sense to me. There is some bad news to report on. A quarter midget driver, and I have to be honest with you, I don't follow quarter midgets, among other things I don't follow. A young lady by the name of Ashley Albertson, not to be confused, Brian, with another driver with a similar name.
Ashley Anderson of Northern Wisconsin, who races dirt late models. Not him.
Not him. This is a 24 or 25-year-old girl, depending on the story you read, that was involved. She was a passenger in a car that had a road rage problem with another car on I-65. Who hasn't been on that? Right near Indianapolis. And they were, I don't know, guy cut the other one off and rolled it. And old Ashley wasn't wearing a seatbelt, was thrown from the car. You know, I had a very good personal friend who was killed when he wasn't wearing a seatbelt and was thrown from a car. For any of you that think there's really good reasons for not wearing a seatbelt, because I've heard this, if I had been wearing a seatbelt, I'd have been killed. It far outweighs it to wear a seatbelt. But Stewart comes out, which I thought was interesting, and did a post on X that said, we have to worry about road rage is a real thing. He admitted. How would you like to be in a road race pissing contest with Tony Stewart? He said he's been in road rage situations himself, and we need to work on that. Yeah, well, and now everybody's carrying a gun besides. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bad time to be on the highways with people with the anger issues, it seems like to me, and it cost young Ashley Albertson her life. And it's a terrible day, just terrible all the way around for our sport. Once again, if you'd like to participate, remember that number, 414-421-7901, and we'd love to have you. Hamlin will start on the pole. There are no cautions today for the segments, which is what I think is the greatest part about road course racing. They will have those, they will award points at lap 20, lap 40, and it is a 90-lap event. Today, William Byron will be on the outside of the front row. The recently crowned champion at Indianapolis, Michael McDowell, starts third today. How great is that? Ty Gibbs, I can't even say his name without laughing, will be fourth, and Kyle Larson will start fifth today. Why would I find Ty Gibbs' name to be funny? Well, Sam Mayer won yesterday in the Xfinity race at Watkins Glen after some late race incidental contact with Ty Gibbs. Now, before you say, oh, poor Ty, remember, Ty Gibbs carried Sam up into the rail. What was it, one lap before or 2 laps before? And I think Sam just put his big boy pants on and decided, I'm going into this turn. I may or may not make it. And if I don't, oh, well. And tapped Gibbs out of the way. And that wasn't the only heartwarming part of that story. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I thought the second last restart, Ty Gibbs kind of slapped Sam around, and I think it made him mad, and he came on the radio and he even said so. If you listened to his radio communication, and they kind of calmed him down, and they said, well, just do it right back to him. And he was like 10-4 with a couple expletives in there as well, so we knew it was coming. And then Sam just knocked him out in the last lap, and that's, Ty Gibbs, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. It's always been his kind of way there. So overall, I thought it was good for the sport to see those guys go at each other.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a ton of history between these two, and Sam has usually always been on the short end of the stick when he has to deal with Ty Gibbs. So it was nice to see Sam finally get one for him. But it was just Ty's demeanor afterwards, saying something about, what did he say? I'm glad that he got his second win, but I was looking for my 13th. It's like, just stop it.
Yeah, and the kid wonders why he gets booed. Why would that young man get booed? He has so much talent. There's no reason this guy would get booed. He's not getting booed because of his talent. He's getting booed because of his attitude and his entitled nature. How's that?
that's the way he is, and that's what makes it great. I think that this whole rivalry thing is great. We have an actual rivalry on our hands now between two guys that just genuinely don't like each other. This isn't manufactured. I mean, if Sam can get to the Cup Series and those guys can go at it for years, this would be fun to watch.
It will. It absolutely, and it's just a matter of time because Sam has shown that his progression is going just fine. Whether he has a couple less wins than Mr. Entitlement, that's true. Don't you worry. He'll catch up. We'll be right back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
It's an adrenaline-fueled weekend as the Ferrari Challenge comes to Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, September 9th through the 10th. This iconic event promises to be an unforgettable experience for racing enthusiasts and Ferrari fans alike. You'll also love the smell of the terrific food at the track and appreciate the fact that you can bring the entire family for an affordable weekend, including on-site camping. Get your tickets now at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Green flag in the air, and we are racing.
Heads to Watkins Glen for the penultimate race of the regular season.
Triple turn 2, Chase Elliott loses it all by himself.
As the pressure to make the playoffs is on.
Absolute perfection for Chris Buescher. He's going to come across the line. He will go back to back.
It's the Go Bowling at the Glen.
Sunday, coverage starts at 1 on Milwaukee's Home for NASCAR, the Big 920, and your iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, keep in mind that by the time we do this program 1 week from today, there will have been 2 Cup races, not only today at Watkins Glen, but Daytona is Saturday night next week. So at the end of this program, we'll all give you 2 wrong picks, as we're pretty good at doing in this program. Brian, we have ourselves a situation in the points with 2 races to go in the regular season that it may sound confusing, but we went through it a year ago, and here we are again.
Yeah, exactly. The way it lines up right now, the 9 car for Hendrick Motorsports, because Chase Elliott was out all those races with his broken leg, and then he got suspended after the 600 also, missing those races, the car still continued to accumulate points that entire time. So as you get the playoff field lined up after next week's Daytona race, the 9 car is 51 points to the good. That puts the 23 car, Bubba Wallace's car, out by 51 points. So if you kind of notice Chase Elliott not overly anxious about this, the money is in the owner's points. That's where all the money is for this. The drivers get the glory, but the prestige, yeah. But the owner's points is where all the money is. So the 9 car is sitting really good for that part of it, and it'll put us in a similar situation we were last year when the 5 car was in the Final 4. Now that's if this all the way goes all the way to Phoenix, which is a big if, because when Kurt Busch jumped out of the car last year, that also made like a flip-flop where that car was in the points, but since Kurt Busch was out, it added another driver. So confusing as all get out right now, but Right now, as it stands, it looks like Hendrick Motorsports will get the 9 car in the owner's side of the playoffs.
And he's 51 points ahead of Bubba Wallace. Now, all that has to do with if Bubba wins a race or if Elliott wins a race, that thing's turned over just a little bit.
Yeah, if Chase Elliott can win today, which he's won here a couple times. This is where he got his first ever win. Then all this goes for naught because then the 9 car will be in driver wise and owners wise. But they just haven't been running all that good. So to think that those guys are just going to jump out and win a race here in the next 2.
When you buy Kroger brand products, you feel like you're winning. That's because they offer proven quality at lower than low prices. In fact, we guarantee that you and your family will love how Kroger brand products taste, or you get your money back. So next time you're shopping for the family, look for delicious Kroger brand products, because they'll make you all feel like you're winning. Shop now, in-store, or online. Pick and save, fresh for everyone.
There's nothing worse than walking up to a venue only to find you've been scammed by a fake ticket. With Vivid Seats, you get great deals on tickets and a 100% buyer guarantee. Vivid Seats. Real rewards for real fans. Get tickets now.
I have my doubts now. All along I thought they were, but right now it just doesn't seem likely. But it looks like the 9 car will be in anyway.
I watched today. Did you see qualifying when he didn't make the cut for the to make the next round? I mean, he was really genuinely upset on the radio. So I think Chase Elliott's going to try pretty hard today.
Yeah, but see, he's one of those guys too, though. When he gets down, he lets himself get down. He's always one of those woe is me type guys, and he doesn't run well. And he just seems like one of those guys that it just takes so much more effort to try to pump him up to get him to have the confidence. He has more self-doubt than a lot of other drivers, at least it appears. Several. I mean, it took him so long to get his first win too, and every time that happened, he was, I screwed up, and he's just so hard on himself, which can be good, but it can also be detrimental at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those guys just got to get mad.
Yes, exactly. That's what has to.
Funny how motivational that is.
Maybe Ty Gibbs can race against him and really upset him today too, and then that would really get him going.
By the way, Elliott has a good shot today, I think, anytime he's on a road course, because he's been so outstanding on road courses. But remember how good Bubba Wallace is at Daytona, and that's next week, and you can't ever take Elliott off the board at Daytona too. So the drama for Daytona is definitely there for sure next week, and we will it'll be fun to watch. But Elliott with a 51-point lead at this point, with no new winners, Elliott is likely to be in it for the Car Owners Championship and the money for Mr. Hendrick.
And that's an interesting situation. So if you get Elliott wins today, puts himself in, and say Bubba Wallace is able to pull it off at Daytona and win that race, then you got Brad Keselowski on the outside looking in. Brad and Harvick are pretty close in points, so it's going to be a battle between those two then of the non-winners to stay in it. And it'd be really unfortunate, as good of a year as RFK has had and as consistent as Brad Keselowski is, that if he were not able to pull this off and make his way, into the playoffs as well as they've been running.
It's been kind of fun watching Keselowski's progression, how that team has been getting better and better and better. And, I'm impressed. As bad as they were for as long as they were bad, it's pretty neat to see that place turned around. Keselowski is, I think, in no small part the reason that it's turned around, even though I see Roush was at Indianapolis last week walking around. He doesn't show up that much anymore. The guy is not a young man, He certainly picked a good time for the next chapter of Roush freaking Keselowski racing, because, it's time to start turning things over. That name Roush will be on it for a while.
And their consistency shows for it. So if you were to go straight up points and have nothing to do with the wins just by the points, Brad is sitting 8th in the points overall. Kevin Harvick is sitting 6th. Neither one of those guys have the win right now. Then there's only 3 guys right now that are in that don't have a win: Bubba, Brad, and Kevin Harvick. And those guys, Bubba is 14th, but Kevin's 6th, Brad 8th when you go by the numbers. But you need to win. So that's the part where this new format consistency isn't quite awarded like it used to be.
Yeah,
but you got to run consistent in order to get a win, unless you can just pull it out of the hat out of nowhere. Otherwise, I mean, you have to be up front every week to that's kind of the progression. You start from mid pack, then you kind of run up front, and you get top 10, then you start leading races, then you start almost being there for the win. Then finally, you kind of put something together to be consistent and fight for wins every week.
As true as that is, Dan, and it is absolutely true. Don't you think that Daytona is the X factor in this whole thing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's why they put that race where they did. It is the wild card.
Yeah, somebody could pull one out of their hat and win next week. There were some contracts working. They're working on contracts. They're talking contracts. They're doing contracts. It's about supply and demand with these charters, as it always has been. But if you think a $20 million price tag for a charter was high before, there's only 1 year left on the current agreement. Now, I am not alone in thinking that this is going to be extended past 2024. But, we're looking at some pretty hefty prices that might be paid to keep guys around. Trackhouse apparently is trying very hard to find a charter for SVG to come over, that Van Gisbergen guy. What did I see it pronounced? Van Gisbergen. My God. SVG seems like the best way to talk about that guy. They really want a charter for that guy. And Austin Hill extended his contract with Richard Childress, but only in the Xfinity Series. It's a 2-year deal. But he says, well, I could come to Cup, but it depends if they can find a third charter. Well, good luck with that, Austin. You better bring some pretty big money with you if we're looking at that. We're glad you're tuned in. We're going to sneak away for a break. We'll be right back. Hang in there.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
With the Sheboygan County Fair on Labor Day weekend, racing at the Fair Park will take place this Friday night. It'll be a special night of racing featuring the Dirt Kings Late Model Series, Wing Sprint Cars, Grand Nationals, and B-Mods. Action at every turn in the Third Mile Oval. A special county fair race is set for Saturday, September 2nd. Returning will be the IRA Sprints and the Plymouth Dirt Track Racing MSA Sprints. Enjoy the fair and the racing all on the same day. We'll see you there.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Trouble turn 2. Kyle Busch is around. Back hard into the outside retaining wall.
Regular season concludes at Daytona International Speedway.
Trouble back straightaway. Alex Bowman is around. He'll get spun on the back straightaway.
Who will claim the final playoff spots?
Busher in the middle. Close quarters. Oh, Truex gets loose.
It's the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
Saturday, August 26th. Coverage starts at 5 on the Big 920.
Welcome back to LTN. Boy, Denny Hamlin is in a really weird spot right now. His contract to drive the 11 car is coming to an end. He's trying to negotiate a new contract, but there's so much that is involved with this because he is an owner of a Toyota team. And we don't have... Apparently, his deal with Toyota is somewhat... Is it running out after this year too, Dan? I think it is.
For the 23-11 team, it might be. I think it's his deal with Gibbs and that thing come at the same time, which makes it kind of complicated because especially if other manufacturers are coming calling.
And why wouldn't they? There's no reason he wouldn't be talking to other sponsors. But in the meantime, he would want to sign a new contract to stay where he is, I would think, which is a Toyota. But would that be very odd if his team was not a Toyota team? I think it would be. Is it unprecedented that would happen? It seems to me it happened once before, but I don't remember for sure. Now, to me, the X factor in that whole deal is what happens to FedEx? What happens? Let's just say that his deal with the 23-11 team goes to pull a name out. Let's say Chevrolet. Would he possibly take FedEx away from Gibbs and make himself a third car for his own team? Can that, I'm not sure how those sponsor deals work. I know that he is the catalyst behind having FedEx over there. They love Denny Hamlin. I don't know what you guys think, but that's, to me, that's the whole.
They seem pretty entrenched with him there. I mean, it's been that way forever, and he hasn't done anything to hurt that. I mean, it seems like they've
presented perfectly.
Right. They latched themselves with Denny Hamlin for quite a while now, and I think FedEx and Denny Hamlin are together, and they market it that way. So, I mean, you think of a FedEx Cup driver, you always think of Denny Hamlin. So I think he's set there, and it could. Now, other manufacturers, I don't know, would it really benefit them to go to another manufacturer? They're pretty good at Toyota right now, but that's because they got that tie to Joe Gibbs Racing. I mean, they're going to bring the Legacy Motor Club cars in next year. He has more Toyotas. They're still down compared to other manufacturers. But if they keep adding more on, how does that play? How bad does another manufacturer want to get that team? I guess what it comes down to.
It sounds like negotiating through the media a little bit, although Hamlin did mention the similarities from a year ago when Kyle Busch was negotiating a contract, and he's letting out little tidbits of what that negotiation was like too. It's been pretty interesting, and if you get a chance to read about it, it's certainly worthwhile. All right, how many of you have ever heard of Chris Hacker or Jason White? Anyone? They are Truck Series backmarkers. And unfortunately for Chris Hacker and Jason White, they both got DWIs in the month of August and have been suspended, which is not anything unusual. We have to do that. It's what we do in this sport. Let's pull out the rule book and start citing different things. Yeah. Okay. That's not a surprise. Some guy named Joel Courage, who I never heard of, and before the program, I asked my esteemed staff here if any of them have ever heard of Joel Courage. There's nobody that not just heard of him, but it's because he's not a driver, and he got suspended by NASCAR because, get this now, he failed to register as a sex offender. Well, a sex offender and we never heard of him? Yeah, he's a businessman who deals with NASCAR through his E33 Motorsports and Development Company, which is in the business of finding young drivers to come over to NASCAR. How can you get suspended for that? Here's another situation where I'd like to, does he have credentials where he walks around the garage and all he can do is pull his credential? You can't stop a guy from looking for young drivers that are going to eventually find their way into NASCAR. So that's awfully weird to me. We'll keep an eye on that and see where that goes. We talked briefly last week about the Stewart-Haas Racing penalty on their Xfinity 00 car. Remember that? In fact, PJ even came on and said that it had to do with airflow, which, when you're talking about these spoilers, that's not a surprise that we would think airflow. A former NASCAR crew chief who listens to this program sent us a little diagram saying what more than likely was done, and it was rounded off the corners of the spoiler, of the rear blade. And yet, this week, we saw a little bit of a video, and it didn't turn out exactly that way. You guys saw it, didn't you?
Which one are you talking about?
The video that was shared by the Fox Sports dude who's on top of it.
Progress?
Progress put on, sorry for not remembering his name. I have brain fade. That put a little video out, and it showed a different thing than what this crew chief had sent to us. It had to do with rounding the edge of the entire blade from one end to the other. One must be a more detectable thing, and I don't know that anybody would have been looking for the whole edge of the thing being rounded, but it was enough for some major fines there. Crazy, don't you think?
Well, you can't mess with that stuff. I mean, that's what they made perfectly clear. You cannot mess with the factory parts that they give you, and the fact that you would even think that you could mess with them and get away with it, I don't understand why you think you could do that. I just don't get it.
I just don't think they thought they were going to be caught. 20 regular and 5 playoff points and a $25,000 fine to the crew chief on that 00 car. Stuart Haas is doing bad enough without getting spanked in the process. Gee whiz, things aren't going too well over there.
This podcast is sponsored by Eucora.
UTIs are the worst. One year, I had 8 UTIs, and I hated taking antibiotics so often. If you get UTIs, you understand how awful the cycle is. I was taking all the precautions, and cranberry products just didn't work. It was hard on me and my husband.
I hated seeing her in pain, and I wanted to help.
We're Jenna and Spencer, founders of Eucora. We make UTI relief products and innovative urinary tract supplements that give you a way to be proactive. At Eucora, we've helped over 400,000 people get their lives back.
Eucora's UTI Emergency Kit helps you test for a UTI and manage your symptoms until you can see a doctor. Plus, their proactive care supplements support your urinary health from every angle. Get 30% off your first Eucora order when you text SUPPORT to 64,000. Text SUPPORT to 64,000 to get 30% off. That's SUPPORT to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Eucora. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at Eucora.com. Reply STOP to stop. Help for help.
Hear that? That's the sound of people taking Chicagoland's newest and best casino out for a spin. Only at the Temporary by American Place. Try your hand at over 20 table games. Give hundreds of new slots a whirl. There's restaurants, bars, and much more. You want action, Chicagoland? Well, today's your lucky day at the Temporary by American Place. Now open.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
See, as Tony Stewart is in all forms of racing, we'll be back.
It's an adrenaline-fueled weekend as the Ferrari Challenge comes to Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, September 9th through the 10th. This iconic event promises to be an unforgettable experience for racing enthusiasts and Ferrari fans alike. You'll also love the smell of the terrific food at the track and appreciate the fact that you can bring the entire family for an affordable weekend, including on-site camping. Get your tickets now at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
With the Sheboygan County Fair on Labor Day weekend, racing at the Fair Park will take place this Friday night. It'll be a special night of racing featuring the Dirt Kings Late Model Series, Wing Sprint Cars, Grand Nationals, and B-Mods. Action at every turn in the third-mile oval. A special county fair race is set for Saturday, September 2nd. Returning will be the IRA Sprints and the Plymouth Dirt Track Racing MSA Sprints. Enjoy the fair and the racing all on the same day. We'll see you there.
This week on NASCAR Live, Michael McDowell joined the show.
This is special because of what that victory celebration's like. You know, taking your car up the elevator to Victory Circle there, taking your team and your family down to kiss the bricks and it doesn't get much cooler than winning at Daytona and winning Indy.
There's much more waiting for you each week on NASCAR Live.
Every Tuesday night at 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back. Glad you could join us. I want to say happy birthday to Matt Losey. He doesn't know that we knew, but happy birthday, Matt. He's turning 50. 50, because I'm 50. All right, I thought we'd point that out. There's a little politics going on in ASA, little short track stuff. I don't know if you've picked this all out, but Freddie Query, who's the new guy, apparently, is he the new tech inspector, or is he the new general manager for ASA Stars Series? What's his title? Anybody know?
I think series director, I think, is what he's going to be put in charge of.
Okay. Well, he had some statements this week that are setting some people on fire, which has to do with their engine program. I don't know, Brian, you want to kind of give us a little synopsis of it?
Well, basically what they're going to do now is here we sit in August, and one thing they didn't have taken care of going into this year was a set of rules for the whole series to go on. And I believe what Freddie's job is going to be is to come up with a set of rules that they're going to use for 2024 and beyond. And basically put these rules in place by the time they get to their race. I believe it's Winchester where they want to have them in place by, and say this is what we're going to do going forward. And you have until next year's first race, which will probably be in March again at Pensacola. And then that's what you're going to have. Instead of having the constant bickering back and forth between the different sets of rules that you have all across the country, and say, this is what we're going to do. These are the rules you're going to run. If you want to run with us, this is what you're going to do. And it's basically what they do across the country now. If you want to run a World of Outlaws sprint car, these are the rules that the World of Outlaws run. And if you're an IRA guy, you got to apply by these rules if you're going to go run their race. Same thing on the late model side. When I was on a dirt late model team and we wanted to run with either Lucas or the World of Outlaw late models, we had to have our car to their specs when we raced it. So I think it's what you got to do going forward here, and guys got to decide if it's worth the money or not. The one thing that they have to do is they have to come out and have their purses all set, and everybody needs to know how much money you're going to make if you go ahead and put your car together and you want to run that series. And I think if they do that, that's the way they're going to be successful, because right now there's way too much, openness or not, I don't know, openness isn't the word, but too many different rules going on right now for people to know what they need to do to run their different races, and nothing was set in stone. And I think Freddie's job is to set this in stone. This is what it's going to be, and go forward from there.
All right. Now, what we have to make sure is that people understand there's a big difference between the ASA Stars Series and the ASA Midwest Tour, right?
Correct. Yeah. The Stars Tour and the Midwest Tour are two completely different. Now, the idea was to have them the same, but the most of the Midwest Tour guys around here run 2-barrel carburetors, where everybody in the Stars Tour runs 4-barrel carburetors. Everybody down south in the CRA, the Southern Super Series down there, they all run 4 barrels. 2 barrels is kind of a unique thing to Wisconsin here, and that's where the big problem comes in, trying to mesh those rules together. So I think Freddie's idea is this is what they're going to be. If you have a Wisconsin car, you're going to have to make your car match what we have here. Does that mean we don't have as many Star races up here next year? Quite possible. But if a lot of Wisconsin guys say, hey, I actually want to do this and I want to run those races, and they let them know that their intent to do it, maybe then they'll have some more up here. So basically, the best idea is to have this out in front of everybody now, so you have 8 months to figure out what you're going to do before you have to actually start racing.
Now, here's my question, Brian, on this thing is, now Wisconsin, we have car count wise, and I think health wise, I think the Wisconsin super late model segment is better than what's going on in the rest of the country. I think we got it pretty well here. Now we're on the 2 barrels. I get that, and they're on the 4 barrels back there. They kind of pushed everything over together to go to the Southern rules or the 4-barrel route instead, and which alienates a lot of teams from up here, and that's why I think people are upset. Overall, competition wise, what is better, 2-barrel or 4-barrel? I really don't know.
I don't know either, but I think you have the Wisconsin guys didn't turn out for their races this year, so I think that's where they're saying, it is what it is. And when you have the majority of your races down there, you only had 3 up here of all of them. The rest of them were all down there. I think that's why they're going to decide to go to those set of rules. You got to go with what the majority of them are. And if the majority of the guys running that series are running those set of rules, then those are the set of rules you have to go with. I just don't think you can leave it open to having different types of rules out there. It doesn't work in other forms of motorsports, and I could see it's not working here either. So,
see, I'm just worried that if we go that route, hurt the car counts up here because, is it somehow more economical to go the 2-barrel route? And why did Wisconsin go to 2-barrel?
2 barrels are easier to drive. I think that's what it is. A 2-barrel carburetor, your throttle response isn't what it is on a 4-barrel carburetor, from what I understand, talking to different drivers. So I think that's what it is. But there aren't many guys up here that run that series anyway. So I don't think the Stars Tour making their rules is going to really affect anything up here, other than we won't have any Stars races up here.
Yeah, what about the WIR race? There really weren't very many locals in that race.
No, there wasn't. No, and I think that's when this came to a tipping point. And talking to people when I was in the garage area down there that day, that's where a lot of the conversation came in. I mean, you just didn't get it up here. Now, as a fan, we'd like to see all those guys come up here. And the only way you're going to be able to do it, and I think what eventually they want this to turn into is to be like having the World of Outlaw sprint cars and the World of Outlaw late model type thing, only on the asphalt side of it. When the World of Outlaws come to town, you have Davenport and Bobby Pierce and all these guys come to town, and you come to see them guys race. I think that's what they want to eventually duplicate on the asphalt side of things. They're not there yet because you don't have guys that have been entrenched in that type of racing that long. You don't have national stars. That's where asphalt late model racing has missed in the years. I think that's what they want to get to. It's not going to happen overnight because you have to build a series up. The first couple of years of the World of Outlaw late model series back in the early 2000s, it took many years for them to build that up. They started with 12 guys, and they slowly built it up to what you have now, where when that series comes to town, you know what you're going to see. I think that's what you need to do here too. Locals are good. It's cool to have locals do it, but locals aren't the guys that are going to sell the tickets for the people to come and watch it. The people want to come and see the stars. They want to see a Bubba Pollard, Derek Thorne. They want to see those guys come to their area and watch. And I think that's what they want to do here.
And if you wondered what the problem was with the ASA Stars Tour and Slinger Speedway and the Slinger Nationals, now you have a little better understanding of it, because Slinger certainly did not need to conform to ASA Stars rules to have a successful event, and most of the same drivers, they were all coming anyway. So why pay a sanctioning fee for just so your inspectors could inspect the cars instead of our inspectors? I guess I don't know that. Either way, I thought Todd Thielen made the right call there by saying we don't need this. There's no advantage to Slinger Speedway to bring it.
I thought that was the right call, absolutely. And the Nationals went off was super successful. We had a lot of cars, a lot of fans, a lot of drivers, everything that way. At Kaukauna, I get there were not many local cars, and I wish there would have been more there. But actually, after watching the race itself, just as a fan watching the car slide around, I kind of like the 4-barrel aspect of it. I don't know what all goes involved, everything else. I'm kind of torn in this whole deal. I wish someone would kind of straighten the whole thing out for me, and pick a way and go that way.
I think they probably did the right thing by having Query just come out and say it. We'll be back.
NASCAR is returning to the historic Milwaukee Mile Speedway for a full day of racing that you don't want to miss. Be there Sunday, August 27th for an ARCA and NASCAR truck doubleheader. The ARCA Menard Series Sprecher 150 starts at noon, and the Clean Harbors 175 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series playoff starts at 3 p.m. Racing is back in Milwaukee at the historic Milwaukee Mile Speedway August 27th. Be a part of the action and get your tickets online now at MilwaukeeMileRacing.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
It's an adrenaline-fueled weekend as the Ferrari Challenge comes to Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, September 9th through the 10th. This iconic event promises to be an unforgettable experience for racing enthusiasts and Ferrari fans alike. You'll also love the smell of the terrific food at the track and appreciate the fact that you can bring the entire family for an affordable weekend, including on-site camping. Get your tickets now at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series.
3 wide, 4 deep as they exit turn number 4. Laps winding down front of the field.
Heads back to the World Center of Racing.
Trouble! John Hunter Nemechek spins off turn 2.
With 3 races remaining until the playoffs.
Here comes John Hunter Nemechek looking for the checkered flag off the corner.
It's the Wawa 250, powered by Coca-Cola.
It's Friday Night Lights. Coverage starts at 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Another big week of dirt track racing across the state of Wisconsin and the country, for that matter. We'll start Tuesday night. Francis Crick, Wisconsin, the 141 Speedway, night number 1 of the Captain of the Creek, which is a big special for the IMCA Sport Mods. The IMCA Modifieds and the Grand Nationals were there on the undercard, and the Modifieds went to Benji Lacrosse. The Grand Nationals went to Dan Schumacher. Brandon, South Dakota, Tuesday night, Houston Speedway for the High Limit Sprint Car Series. Rico Abreu grabbed the win there. Wednesday night at 141 Speedway was the Captain of the Creek. $10,000 to win for the IMCA Sport Mods, and Tyler Sobieschek got the win in that one. The IMCA stock cars were also there. Kyle Frederick grabbed the win there. Wilmot, during the fair, the Kenosha County Fair, had their races there. They had the first ever 604 winged sprint car feature. Those are the wingless sprints. They put the wings on them, and they had a whole bunch of them turn up for that. And Brian Christon was your winner Wednesday night. The Modifieds went to Nick Simon. Also out in Lancaster, Wisconsin, the Grant County Fairgrounds. Their one and only race. They run there every year on that speedway. And the IMCA Modified Spencer Dirks from Iowa came up and picked up the win. And the limited late models went to Ethan Pickard. Thursday night, Jackson, Minnesota, the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series had night number 1 of the AGCO Jackson Nationals. And James McFadden was your preliminary feature winner there. Friday night up at Chilton Gravity Park Speedway in the Modified, Steve Miller was your winner. The Grand Nationals went to Jeff Richards, and the stock cars was Mitch Meyer. Seymour, the Outagamie County Speedway, the Modifieds went to Marcus Yari. Stock cars was Kyle Frederick. Up at Superior, the Gondik Law Speedway for the Wissota late models, Pat Doer was your winner. The Modifieds went to Jody Belfoulier. Menominee, Wisconsin.
No matter what kind of store you visit, no matter what kind of tobacco you ask for, every gas station, convenience store, vape shop, and neighborhood market knows it's illegal to sell tobacco products to anyone under 21. So if you're planning to buy something with nicotine, remember to bring your ID. It will get checked. Because in Wisconsin, 21 means 21, no matter what. Find out what the federal tobacco sales law means for you at dhs.wisconsin.gov/tobacco21.
In Red Cedar Speedway, the Wissota late models went to Ashley Anderson, and the Modifieds went to Jake Hartung. Jim Falls, Wisconsin, the Eagle Valley Speedway and the Wissota Modifieds, Matt Lear was your winner, and the USRA Limited Lates went to Cade Nelson. Fountain City, Wisconsin, the Mississippi Thunder Speedway, the Dirt Kings late model tour was up there for $5,000 to win, and Jake Tim, the owner's kid, picked up the win on that big race up there. And the USRA Limited Lates went to Brad Waits. Say that 5 times fast. Wayne City, Illinois, USAC NOS Engineering Sprint National Midgets, the Jason Leffler Memorial, that went to Tanner Thorson. Jackson, Minnesota, night number 2 of the AGCO Nationals, Jackson Nationals, went to James McFadden again. 2 for 2 there he was. Batesville, Arkansas, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Topless 100 preliminary feature winner went to Ricky Thornton Jr. Somebody other than Bobby Pierce finally won. It's because Bobby Pierce took the weekend off, so everybody was breathing a sigh of relief there. Last night at Plymouth in the MSA 360 Sprints, Brandon McMullen was your winner. The Grand National feature winner went to Stephen Weber. Wilmot, the IRA Sprint Cars, Bill Baylaw grabbed the win, and the wingless sprints went to Eric Wilkie. Shawano in the late models, Gunnar Frank was your winner. The modifieds, Lucas Lambries. Stock cars was Kyle Frederick. Sturgeon Bay at the Hill Raceway, and the modifieds, Kyle Kudik was your winner. Stock cars went to Barry Van Stratton. New Richmond, Wisconsin at the Cedar Lake Speedway in the modifieds, Daryl Nelson was your winner. USRA Limited Lates went to Lucas Peterson. Up at Ashland, the ABC Raceway, the Wissota Modified feature winner was Brandon Kopp. Down in Sycamore, Illinois, the Badger Midgets were there. Adam Taylor grabbed the win. Spring Valley, Minnesota, the Deer Creek Speedway for the Dirt Kings Late Model Series, $5,000 to win. That went to Dustin Sorensen. Macon, Illinois, the USAC Midgets. Logan Seavey was your winner. Earlier that afternoon, Logan Seavey ran at the Illinois State Fairgrounds for the USAC Silver Crown Series. He won that race also. Nothing like winning 2 races in one day. That is a really good day. Also at Springfield, Illinois, the UMP Sportsmen were there. The ageless wonder Kenny Schrader took the car out on the mile oval and picked up the win in that. Jackson, Minnesota, the final night of the AGCO Jackson Nationals, $25,000 to win for the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. Carson Macedo was your winner. And the big money race of the weekend was in Batesville, Arkansas, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, the 41st annual Topsless 100, $50,000 to win. And somebody not named Ricky Thornton Jr. and not named Bobby Pierce finally picked up a win. It was Dale McDowell, the 57-year-old, picked up his first win in that event since 2004. I missed watching it, but that had to be really cool to see him do that after all he's been through the last couple of years. So congratulations to him.
And with our paved track results, PJ Noodleman. PJ, it's been a busy week.
It has, and thanks to Paul Reichert for an assist on some of this information as well. On Sunday, State Park Speedway, the Tundra Super Late Models ran. Justin Mondyke was your winner. On Monday, Kenny Schrader picked up the NASCAR Pinty Series win at I can't pronounce it.
They call it Oshweekend, but it's
Oshweekend.
It's Ozweekend. It's in.
I need to be drinking to say it, probably.
Weekend.
So anyway, Kenny Schrader wins there. On Thursday,
8 years old and the oldest winner ever in NASCAR, apparently history, we're told.
That's a beautiful thing, as you say, Todd. On Thursday, State Park Speedway, the Lodi Memorial, Justin Mondyke was your winner. At Kaukauna, Super Late Models ran. Brazen Bennett was the winner, and the Late Models was Jason Vandenberg. On Friday, Golden Sands, Pro Late Model winner, Brady Bill, and the champion was Kendrick Cryer. Hawkeye Downs Late Models ran. Bryce Miller was both the winner of the feature and the champion. At Madison Late Model Twin Features, Zach Riddle won the first, got involved in a nasty accident in the second one, and Jeremy Miller picked up the win in the second. Riddle was your champion.
In a row.
Yeah. Toma Mid-Ams ran, and Timmy Stewart was winner, ending Ron Vandermeer's Jr.'s 3-race win streak. And the ARCA Series ran at Watkins Glen. Jesse Love was the winner. William Sawalich finished 4th. On Saturday, Hawkeye Downs, the ASA Midwest Tour 100-lap feature. Gabe Summers, fast time, and the feature winner there. And the Mid-Am Series, Joey Gase picked up the win there for the second straight year. At Marshfield, the UMA Super Late Models, the Langrick Memorial, Jared DeBoer picked up the win. The Cars Tour ran at Tri-County Speedway in North Carolina. The late model stock car winner was Landon Huffman. Carson Quapple finished second. In the Pro Late Models, it was Caden Quapple. The CRA Jegs All-Star Tour at Owasso Speedway in Michigan, Masters of the Pros. Chase Berta was your winner, and Nick Egan ran up there, and he finished 8th. Nice. And then for the Dells results, Todd, I'll throw it back over to you.
Yeah, we were here for the Dells. The Mike Litchfield show continues. He just has got it going on. And a nice car count, too. 21 pro late models here last night. And it started like 15th and came back and won it in a 50-lapper. An outstanding job. By the way, last week at the Slinger Speedway, the guy who's really doing the same thing as Litchfield is here at the Dells, Jesse Bernhagen, wins yet again at Slinger. Last night at Slinger Speedway was the Slam Fest, and they will not be running at Slinger Speedway tonight. So SRX Series ran their championship on Thursday on the dirt. Jonathan Davenport, boy, that is a real big surprise. You bring a guy in with the talent of Jonathan Davenport on the dirt. He kicked their butts, and Ryan Newman was the champion of the SRX Series, and a good year for those guys for sure. We'll be back.
NASCAR is returning to the historic Milwaukee Mile Speedway for a full day of racing that you don't want to miss. Be there Sunday, August 27th for an ARCA and NASCAR truck doubleheader. The ARCA Menard Series Sprecher 150 starts at noon, and the Clean Harbors 175 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series playoff starts at 3 p.m. Racing is back in Milwaukee at the historic Milwaukee Mile Speedway August 27th. Be a part of the action and get your tickets online now at MilwaukeeMileRacing.com.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
It's an adrenaline-fueled weekend as the Ferrari Challenge comes to Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, September 9th through the 10th. This iconic event promises to be an unforgettable experience for racing enthusiasts and Ferrari fans alike. You'll also love the smell of the terrific food at the track and appreciate the fact that you can bring the entire family for an affordable weekend, including on-site camping. Get your tickets now at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
The NASCAR Cup Series.
Green flag in the air, and we are racing.
Heads to Watkins Glen for the penultimate race of the regular season.
Trouble turn 2. Chase Elliott loses it all by himself.
As the pressure to make the playoffs is on.
Absolute perfection for Chris Buescher. He's going to come across the line. He will go back to back.
It's the Go Bowling at the Glen.
Sunday, coverage starts at 1 on Milwaukee's home for NASCAR, the Big 920, and your iHeartRadio app.
All right, welcome back to the final segment of the program. As we are quite famous for here, we don't really pick winners very often, like when we picked guys like Kobayashi last week, Dan. But that's all right. Nobody else we picked won either because nobody took Michael McDowell. I'm sorry. I'm only using my brain, not my heart, because I'm taking Ty Gibbs to win today after his asinine comments yesterday. Dan, we're going to need picks for this week and next week. Let's just do the road course first at Watkins Glen.
Okay. I won't make as bad a pick as I made last week. I'll go from the pole sitter, Denny Hamlin.
That's pretty easy. Brian?
A.J. Allmendinger.
Okay. And PJ?
I'm going to go with Chase Elliott.
Oh, this is the time. By the way, since Toby is apparently woken up now, does he have a pick for today on the road course?
Tobe?
I'll take Kyle Busch.
Oh, all right. Kyle Busch. That's interesting. All right, now, we're going to Daytona next week, and I'm not stealing Dan's pick or anything like that, but Hamlin is so damn good at Daytona. I think it's going to be him on Saturday night. Dan?
I'm going to go with the guy that should have won the Daytona 500 before all the wrecks happened, Kyle Busch.
All right. Brian?
I'm going to go with Alex Bowman to really throw a monkey wrench in the whole playoff thing.
It would, and it's very possible. Peach?
I'm going with Ryan Blaney.
Yeah. Oh, he's good there, too. And I don't suppose Toby has a pick for Daytona, too, does he?
I'm going to go with Chris Buescher.
But he is 1 for 1 this year, batting 1,000 and picking Chris Buescher to do it. Well, that's interesting. All right. Today, the 42 car is going to be driven by Mike Rockenfeller. After all that drama happened, Josh Bilicki, Wisconsin's own, is in the race today. He's going to be in the 78 car, and he starts 35th on the field today. So not looking too good for that. But either way, by the way, there's a new website out there that is showing the top 75 televised NASCAR races of all time. Now, remember, they didn't do television until a lot longer after they started racing in NASCAR. But since they started televising NASCAR, if you want to watch any particular race of the top 75, classics.nascar.com, and you can pick something out and watch that.
It's actually the whole race broadcast too, like you're watching it live. It's pretty cool. I found a bunch of them that I wasn't even at, so I can go watch again.
I mentioned that we're not racing at Slinger tonight, but we are racing. Super late models are back next week after the Milwaukee race. What a full day of racing. In fact, it's such a full day that as fans, we can go to Milwaukee in the afternoon and Slinger in the evening. But as a racer, I understand that Luke Fenhaus is going to make the double next week. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, he'll be in the ARCA race in the afternoon, and then come run his super late at Slinger at night in the Carl Wagner Memorial.
And Carl, and a lot of drivers that owe much of their careers to Carl Wagner, the late great Carl Wagner of Wagner Motorsports, like to show up for that thing and race. Boy, I don't think it's beyond impossible that Casey would show up again. He always likes to run that one, and he has been racing a little bit and done pretty well for himself. So it wouldn't surprise me, but I haven't talked to him, and I have no reason to think that he's going to do that. So,
and let's not forget, next week is the big weekend at Milwaukee. We've been talking about it for years and years and years about how we want racing back at the Milwaukee Mile, and people have been clamoring for racing to be back. Well, next week's your chance. So, if you're on the fence, get your tickets, get to Menards. I believe they're offering a ticket deal at Menards. You can grab a ticket for a real reasonable price and get to the Milwaukee Mile and take in that 2 day or those 2 races, a doubleheader for that day, and let's pack that place and let them know that we really want racing back at that Milwaukee Mile.
Hey, if you're not running at Slinger, you're looking for something to do, head up to Road America for the GT World Challenge. It's up there yesterday. Good field of cars and all the classes up there, and they got races starting this afternoon.
Yep, main event is at 2:15 today for the Fantech GT World Challenge main event.
PJ, Toby, I assume, will be at Milwaukee?
Yep. Yes, we will.
Is he working with anyone or just taking it all in?
He's just
taking it all in.
There you go. For those of you who want to discuss more about that ASA engine business, Toby has offered that he'll stick around for the Hangover Show for that. Thanks so much for tuning into the program. We do love you and appreciate you every week. Don't forget, coverage for the race starts today at 1 o'clock right here on the Big 920 and on the iHeartRadio app. For all of us involved with the program, there's something we want you to remember. Real race cars have doors! Even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losey, who reminds everyone to stick around for the Hangover Show. For all of us involved with the program, we appreciate you being here. Our advisory contributors to the program, Aaron Baird, Paul Reichert, and Toby Noodleman. We'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
What did you wake up to today? Was it a medieval castle, an ancient cathedral, or a charming cobblestone village? With a bed that faces the passing scenery, Avalon gives cruisers a front row seat to the views of the world, with immediate access to a new port every day. Open your eyes to a different kind of cruising, one with smaller ships, bigger experiences, fewer people, and more of everything. Limited time special offers await at AvalonWaterways.com.